Welcome back to the Shift Drunk Podcast, everybody. We have Man with Gun, High Man, and White Man.
Gang shit, that's the intro. What are we talking about? We had a few different things that Ron went deep in when he was kind of drunk the other day, but we didn't get a chance to record it. I really wish I did, but Ron, would you like to go deep again on those topics?
What were we
So
talking about?
if you want to pull up, it's still in general. If you want to kind of pull up that link, we were talking
was
about how Facebook
Face-
is starting to implement ads into their Oculus environment, and I guess VR in general. I'm not sure if it's exclusively Oculus. I didn't double check that. Looks like it might just be Oculus, but we started sort of getting into sort of what we've talked about earlier, and this is important to us because we all have an Oculus headset, the first generation, so we all paid full price for the hardware.
Yes,
Whereas
we
like
did.
with the second iteration, it's kind of being sold at cost, or I would assume maybe a little bit of loss, just to bring people into the ecosystem.
I have a couple theories about this that we can get into, which are a little bit more crazy, but I want you guys to talk about your realistic things
Damn it.
first.
I gotta pull
Well,
this up again.
oh yeah, no worries. Kind of just some of the history of this. This is what some people, I wasn't super worried about it, but some people were like, well, when Facebook bought Oculus is what I'm referring to. Some people were really concerned because they were like, this is Facebook, we can't trust Facebook, whatever, all this other stuff. When Facebook basically said, no, this will be its own separate thing. We own the company, but we kind of want it to be a separate thing from Facebook. You'll have a separate Oculus account. It won't require a Facebook account to function at all. We'll let these be their own separate things. And then it's been kind of like, I think the analogy we use is the frog in the boiling pot, where they've been kind of increasing stuff and doing things that are a little bit shisty, or at the very least hypocritical to what they've said. So at first you needed a Facebook account. A change they made was you needed a Facebook account to play with your friends and to message them, and it's gone so on and so forth to the point where Quest 2, and I think they're shutting down support for just regular Oculus accounts in 2020. I want to say 3.
Yeah.
Billy,
I have to double check that.
That's kind of stupid, actually. I like my Oculus account. Fuck Facebook. Facebook is too creepy. Let me get into some more conspiracy theories in a second. 1 second.
Jordan, how did we get from there to data when we were talking last time?
Well, it just kind of got into that. The reason we had talked about this before, and the reason why we think they're selling the Quest so cheap when it's comparatively better, inferior in some ways, like the strap and like some minor stuff with tracking.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's a better device. And basically, we had talked about how we think, well, like pretty much we know that the reason Facebook is doing this is to try to accumulate as much people in the ecosystem as possible. Because how does Facebook make 95% of the revenue?
Right.
It's through like ads, right? And basically selling data.
Interesting thing about Facebook there is I was on it today because it's my first anniversary with Kaya. And I wrote like the thank you everyone for your wishes and all that. And then I went to my profile because there was some stuff that was kind of out of date. And there's an interests tab. So it's alphabetical and it almost has everything under the sun unless your hobby or interest is kind of touchy. So like there was hunting, there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I only chose like maybe like a little bit out of the list, and it was still a lot. And it's just fascinating to see, like, sure, this is information that I guess a friend could see, and I don't really care about Facebook and my data. Sure, show me ads that are related to the hobbies I'm into that. That's about it. But I just find it fascinating, like how much info they can accrue. And then also I was on Snapchat last night also updating some stuff too. And Snapchat's really interesting because you can scroll into settings and then like privacy and then data or also interests there. And it has a whole list with check marks you can add. So like let's say I wanted to see more of this or that. And then if you scroll all the way down, which is it's a really long list, and that's probably by design to be honest, so that people it's harder to find what they know about you. At the very, very bottom
Right.
in small text, they have all of your interests that they think that you have, and you can choose to clear it, which I did. But it was mostly spot on, but not really. And you can do this on Google too. I forget how to get there, but I don't have that kind of tracking, so it's not like I can show off my interest. It's not like a privacy thing. Like if I showed you the Google information and what they think I'm into, it's not like I'm showing you like my password or anything. It's just a whole bunch of
Right.
icons and all that. But they all do the same. They all collect that data, and honestly, like
But
some of
the
them are
worst
more
thing
front.
with Facebook is like the Oculus Quest, and the reason why we're gonna get into like the more sinister seeming parts of it is like they have a camera on the inside and outside of it. They can see your eyes and they can see the surroundings in your room.
So a little bit. So you're getting some things confused. So we were talking about prototypes they were developing. So not in the Quest 2 right now, but in prototypes they were designing and implementing.
Oh, the eye
They
tracking
were
is a thing
touting
with
eye
Facebook.
tracking, right? Which like they were trying to push it as like, oh, this is really cool. Like, and this is not a release to retail product. This is like a prototype and R&D stuff that they've been continuously developing. But at
But
first,
like you
like when I
can
first
track
heard,
the
and it's
room
called the
though.
Half Dome, by the way. Half Dome 3, I think, is their latest iteration. And when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. That can be used in like a horror game setting. It can be used for like more accuracy when you're using like in what do you call it, virtual environment like keyboards and whatever.
Well, and
Uh,
socially, like if they, I think Facebook Horizons is the one beta thing they're constantly saying they'll have
yeah,
out, which is basically like imagine a more corporate
VR chat.
VR chat, but with more integrated stuff. Because VR chat is like you can be an anime girl or a banana, like who cares? Whereas what Facebook wants is like an environment where there's like pre-baked in games and like venues and all that, and more expression focused on you. Um,
Mhm.
and that does look cool, to be honest. I don't know if I'm into the whole Facebook thing, but like I guess someone's got to do it. But they're promising stuff like that too. And I
But
guess
like the thing that I'm worried about is like can't they already see the surroundings in your room with the current Quest
I
anyway?
mean, let's put it this way, right? Like if you buy anything with the camera, there's a chance that someone else other than you will see through that camera. How many cameras is on the device is irrelevant. The fact that it has one at all is the main
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
privacy
saying.
concern.
Like
So,
Yeah.
there is
I
Well,
mean,
the
they do need
concern
to
is
collect
outside of
data
it,
on
but
the environment and everything around you. Like already, if you put the Quest on, it'll tell you if there's surroundings that are within your playing circle, and there'll be little lines. And like
Mhm.
it knows things are there. It can see stereoscopically, right? So it has 3D perception, I would hope, with a headset like that. It's just realistically whether or not they would keep all that data and information and photos or videos or whatever. I mean, to that end, if they were, I would assume it'd be very compressed because if you think about security cameras and they're constantly on recording, when you have that much data and film and stuff, it takes up a lot of space. And I'm not saying Facebook doesn't have the space for it, but what I am saying is it might just not be practical. There's easier ways to get all this information and personal stuff from
Sure.
you.
And
Realistically,
I right. I
it all
think
comes down to
the
whether or not you
concern though
post it.
is they can if they wanted to. And they're not,
Right.
and I think part of the history too is like if they're not afraid to kind of go back on what they've said they'll do or what they won't do, like having a Facebook account, for
Yeah.
example. So I think in their for their implementation of the ads, they did say they won't use data based on your microphone, your cameras, or your messages, private messages with friends. But how long does that last, and how good is Facebook's word?
Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
it
and
kind of just goes to show why they've been pouring so much into like their own separate device. Like I'm sure you guys have heard about the whole Apple debacle, where they were upset with Apple because basically Apple is preventing some of these trackers and shit that happens within the
yeah.
Facebook app. And Facebook has felt really restricted and kind of wants their own device that they can run freely with. And like, and in some points, I understand that, but like, why they want the freedom to
Yeah.
do the things they want to do is questionable.
Well, and I'm
at
not
best.
saying that all of these questions are without merit, because they are valid. It's just, to an end, it's very familiar, as it should be when it comes to these sort of things. And the possibility of something happening where they're recording you and all that, I mean, it's higher with Facebook at this point, especially with VR and stuff. But also, if you consider the fact that that's just kind of the way things are going, and beyond something like, let's say, blockchain, the VR and augmented reality, maybe, some form of some other things that are really big like that, those are the future. I mean, maybe like putting like a chip in your arm or something to make it move faster, like I forget what that's called, bioengineering, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, the future is
Right.
basically set. We know what we want to get into and where all the R&D is going, and these are concerns that we're going to have to face anyways. So, I mean, they are all valid. It's just, it's not going to get any easier here on out, basically, is what I'm saying.
And kind of what we were talking about too, though, is like we're not totally against personalized ads or even tracking to a point. Like,
Yeah.
I think my, as far as like company trust or whatever, is like I'd put Facebook last, and then like Amazon, Google, and then I'd put like Apple. Is kind of like my tier of privacy and trust. And we kind of talked about that, how the reason I kind of rank Google so highly is most of the stuff isn't really personal. It's not really about you as an individual. It's not about
They give you a
how
tracking
you,
ID, and then
right.
they
You
sell
have
that
like a
ID to other
marketing
people,
ID,
right?
right? So it's not like Jordan is interested in
Yeah.
this. It's string of numbers and some letters is interested in this, which is a little less. What is that? What's the word I'm thinking? Less concerning, right? Yeah, and then of course Apple is famously the terrorists that attacked Boston Marathon. The U.S. government wanted a way to basically get into the iPhones that they had, and Apple, like, very famously said, "No, we can't give you that. If we do, we risk the privacy of every single individual that's not a criminal." And they've kind of, and we sort of talked about how maybe even if it wasn't, not maybe, that I'm sure it wasn't like them wanting to be morally superior, that they felt they were. They just knew that it was very financially smart to be the company that's not going to give data to whoever, and they've kind of cemented themselves
Especially the government.
right within that sort of niche, I guess. Oh, Ron, I
Especially
can't hear you.
Ron, no.
How about now?
Oh, yeah.
That was strange.
Yeah, it was
I
weird.
guess I was just saying, like, what I was saying before when we weren't recording is that if you're the gatekeeper of all this data, right, and it's all yours, and someone else wants it for use outside of your own, what is the incentive there? There's really none. So realistically, for the end user who you're getting the data from, right? So, like, if you're on a pile of gold and you have these people bringing you gold in exchange for, I don't know, sitting under a tent and it's hot out. I don't know. Let's just give them a purpose,
Sure.
right? They have a use. I come to you, I give you a little bit of gold, and I get to sit in the shade for an hour, let's say. And then someone else randomly comes up and is like, I don't want the tent. Like, I don't care about using your shade. I just want your gold because we need it for our purpose. Well, realistically, the person who holds all that gold has no incentive to do that. And then also they can tell the people who are in the tents, like, hey, I'm gonna make sure that all these funds or whatever that you gave me that's for that tent, like, it's not going anywhere. Okay? Like, I'm keeping what you gave me safe, and this other person who's not going to use our products or anything or doesn't care about us is not going to get it. So the people who are getting a service by using, whatever they provide, can be like, well, they're making sure that our stuff is good, and the and they can kind of have that moral high ground because they're keeping the stuff that they got out of it safe, while also telling you you're safe, and telling the government to screw off because there's just no incentive there. There's no relationship to be formed where they benefit. So, kind of a bad metaphor, come to think of it, but I think it makes some sense.
Right. So, like, maybe to make it a little more basic, The way Google does it is they give you the tent for free, or they let you sit under the tent for free, but you have to basically work for them
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time. Whereas with Apple, you give them a nugget of gold, and that's like paying the price premium for the tent. And the difference is you're more free, like immediately. You don't have to immediately work off your debt for sitting in the shade.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Either
So that's
way,
just kind of the way.
the government
I was really
has no
lost in an
incentive there.
analogy for a minute, but it kind of came around. I think I'm just a little like high, but I really like was lost for a minute.
Basically, I provide service, you give me something. I protect that something that you still care about, even though I gave you the service. Government comes in, wants that something that you gave to me. I say, government, go screw off, because I'm holding on to what I want and I'm keeping what you gave me safe. Right? And so
You follow.
it's good overall for me, and then also you, just not for the government. Because, like I
Right.
said, there's nothing beneficial coming out of it. That's a much shorter and more clear way of saying that, which I should have
Right.
started with.
People will still buy Apple, or people will be willing to pay this price premium for Apple because Apple doesn't sell data.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial for Apple, it's beneficial for the customer, because they both have this mutual relationship where I give you money, you don't sell my data, you give me phone.
Right. And even though
And
that's
then the
that's the
government's like,
basic function of it all, it's
right.
good in other ways because it keeps their reputation strong.
Mhm.
And then also, since they're keeping all that data safe to themselves, that is like insurance for their ecosystem. Like, if you had to give it away or allow someone backdoor access to all that kind of stuff, well, first of all, other parties will know that information regardless of whether or not they're going to compete. But if there's an easy backdoor, then there's no reason to think that competitors won't use it.
Mhm. Well, it's also kind of interesting too, because I think people don't realize that there's like a price premium for some of this stuff. Like, people are like, oh, they're like, why does Google collect data? And it's like, well,
So
all
your
their
services
services
are
are
free.
free.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand that. I think we've kind of been coddled almost to a point where it's like, well, why isn't more stuff free? Well,
Right.
like, people make stuff because, well, one, they enjoy making it, and two, they want to make a living doing it. So it involves some sort of cost somewhere, and in Google's case and Amazon and Facebook, that's data. Now,
Right.
the way they all do that is differently, and we can kind of get into like morally
Well,
whatever
and
there.
the opposite to that is, let's say you pay for the service. Well, if that's the case, then
Mhm.
the user base would be much smaller, because it's a lot easier to be like, cool, I get this for free.
Right.
TOS, terms and service, whatever, who cares?
Mhm. Right.
It works out greatly for them, even though I know, like, personally, I would prefer, let's say, to pay a subscription for something, maybe tell them a hobby I'm into, and even if it's like $1 a month, if I only use like Facebook once a year, I'm not going to have that subscription. But therein
Right.
lies the problem with the user base, and why signing away your life and having it be free based on data is the only way almost now. I don't know of any other like social platform or a company that provides services through the internet that's purely like subscription based, other than
Right.
Adobe. But things like that you can't build and keep running with a community anyways. That doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
It's not like a collaborative social thing to edit a video for my channel. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
I'm not going to follow you on Adobe portfolio and be like, hey, let's film a Zoom video together and upload it. Like, it's not how that kind of thing works. So that's why subscription based models work there and not in the other place.
Yes.
Isn't that what we do though?
Yeah,
What do you
but
mean?
We film a video, we record it,
Right, but we
edit
own
it.
the software that
we
we're doing it
own,
with.
or we're paying
I
for the
didn't pay
software.
for my softwares.
I guess what I'm
Yeah,
saying is
You
like,
pay for the microphone.
this kind of service cannot be free because there's no data to collect en masse that would help them sell a better product. That's why it's
Yeah.
subscription based, because not enough people necessarily use it, or the service they're providing
There's no
isn't
value. There's no
social
value for
based.
businesses
There's-
either.
there's
If
no
someone
value to that,
creates,
yeah.
spends like 15 hours creating a picture of a flower, and then some company is like, well, maybe they like flowers, so here's an ad for flowers.
Right.
And it's like it's probably not going to be as targeted and not nearly as that information's not nearly as valuable.
It's not a
Right.
it's not a gold mine of sorts. You're not
So-
collecting all that personal info.
What kind of ads am I gonna get when they see my bong?
Bong ads.
Weed.
Probably wish.com with those Pickle Rick crack pipes. I mean,
Is that a thing?
yeah.
They are.
Even
there
if,
is
even
actual
if you're
Pickle
not
Rick
into that
bongs,
and you go
though.
into Wish, you'll find it.
There's
Icy
like
Pickle Rick
like
crack pipe?
actual. There's like Pickle Rick bongs that I've seen in
Are
like
they
the Thumb
used?
Shop. I
No,
hope not.
I mean,
And
they're a
dildos,
piece of
maybe.
shit from China, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't use it, but
That's
I also wouldn't
racist.
do crack. So, bro, it's
I
from
do
China.
crack.
And
I
it
wouldn't
costs
use
$1.
that. I mean, I also wouldn't do crack. I love how that one came second. It's like I wouldn't use some piece of shit crack pipe from fucking
Look,
China.
Look,
I also wouldn't do
look.
crack.
if I were to do some nefarious illegal thing, I would do it in luxury. Why should I,
Meth.
in a free country, decide to do something stupid and not do it right? Okay, that's just me.
So how would
Wait.
you do crack right, Ron?
Yeah,
That's
how would
sick.
you
I
do
wanna
crack?
hear this.
Would you spend like a shit ton of money on like a fucking crack pipe?
Bro, you should get like
Oh,
a luxury, like a
we can't
gold.
hear you.
Oh, Mike turned off.
Okay, I have to keep
Yeah,
hitting it.
that's weird.
I don't know, connection error, whatever. Listen, okay, this is how I would do it.
Okay.
If I were to do something illegal, right? Like if I were to speed, it would be more fun to speed in a fast car. That's just
Oh,
me.
that's true. I get
So,
that.
if I were to
That's
do
actually a
something
really good analogy.
illegal, like let's say meth or whatever the hell. First of all, no one's gonna know I'm doing it if I'm not doing it on the street. That's what most bums do, I'm assuming. That's like the stereotype. We'll stick with it. I would do it
Meth's
in my
not a
place.
street thing.
Okay, well, crack, whatever, a street drug. Not do it on the street. And then the way to consume it, you would use a product that's reusable and nice. Like if I take it out, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited. If I take out a busted piece of glass, I'm like, I'm an addict. You know, like if
Okay,
you're gonna
but, like,
do
Well,
something
aren't you an
stupid, do it
addict
right.
either way?
Yes.
If you, no matter what, you're gonna be wrapped around the substance in your mind. Like,
Right.
it's
My
gonna
point
be
is
craving.
if someone
it.
tells
You
me I
need-
can't do it, I'll do it, but I'll do it fancy.
Ron, you can't do crack.
I don't
Ever.
want to. What's
Just
a better
for-
example of something that's technically illegal?
Meth.
Speeding. No, your speeding analogy
The
was
speeding
great.
one is pretty
I don't
solid.
know-
That's
I
what
don't know
I'm
why.
basing
I don't know. You
everything
don't
on.
have to make it any more complicated than that.
I
Wait,
just want
why
to
do
see
you
where
bring
else
the
it
speeding
applies.
If
to.
if I'm gonna murder someone, I don't want it to be with some rinky
I'm
dink
gonna
ass
do it with the
hunting rifle.
CS:GO
I want
skin.
it to be a Barrett 50 cal.
AWP. Yeah. A COD mobile Barrett 50 cal.
I want a 360 no scope his ass.
Look, if I'm gonna end someone's life and then go to the slammer for life, I might as well do it in style so I have a good story to tell. That's just me.
Well, that fucking
Use the
dude.
crack
Actually,
pipe.
that's so true. Because remember, we were talking about this on a past episode. I'm pretty sure, where like the dude that killed what's his fucking name, Andrew Garfield, maybe
Oh, he
someone.
bought the gun that
He
put
bought
in
the
your-
revolver with the ivory grip because he quote unquote thought it
History.
would look better in a museum.
Yeah.
and then he shot.
So
Well, I mean, like if you're gonna set the world record for driving from coast to coast in the shortest amount of time, you can't do it in like a Pontiac Sunfire. Sorry, Jordan. You gotta have a
You might as
fast
well just
car.
do it. But why don't you just do it on crack too?
I'm
So you
sure
buy
it would
the
feel even
amazing
faster.
crack pipe. Make the car a crack pipe, and then hotbox the car with
hey,
crack.
speaking of cars, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Have we talked about it like our dream car on podcast? I don't think we have.
I'd be interested to hear you guys.
Well, you know mine.
Do I? Another
Yeah.
Pontiac Sunfire?
No, those are fun. I do like them. I've had two.
The Kirby mobile.
Yes. No, I think a Mazda Miata would be really cool.
Yeah.
From like a cool I think from like a functional standpoint, I think a Tesla would be cool. But from like a really like classic-y, cool, just like standard car, like I want to drive this.
Right.
A Miata would be really
You
sick.
know, we talk about electric cars frequently, but there's one car that I learned more about recently, and it's a hybrid of sorts, but it's an interesting hybrid. It's not like how you'd think. It's called the Fisker Karma. It looks really nice, by the way. It was made by a dude who's
Isn't
designed.
Fisker an axe company? Don't they make like axes?
So this is the vehicle.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. I forget what else he's designed, but it's a really nice looking car. This is the one, by the way, Noah, that I was talking about that has a sunroof on the top. So we might have actually seen it before, but that's the
Wait,
interior.
aren't all sunroofs on the top?
Or I
Oh,
meant
Oh,
solar
yeah.
panels.
When we were on the bike ride, you
Oh.
pointed one of these out, I think.
But that's the interior. Super crazy.
Damn. It looks
Um,
fancy.
what else did this guy design? I want to tell you this because this guy's portfolio is impressive. Sure, I can't spell. What is his name?
Well, Fisker is in the name.
This is true. Karma Fisker, designer. BMW Z8. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste these and show you. BMW Z8 is a beautiful car. So is this. He's designed Aston Martins before. Very nice looking car.
Yeah, they're very they all kind of have this I mean duh, like a lot of performance cars have this low profile, but it's like almost I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like the very definition of the term streamlined
Yeah.
or like aerodynamic.
But this is like the one he's most well known for is the BMW Z8. What year do
one's
you think this
pretty
vehicle
sweet.
came out in?
That one?
Yeah, this one.
Oh wait, that one. 2001.
Did you read that? Why? It has very nice styling. Really kind
I probably
of
would have guessed
an
around the late
ageless
90s.
style.
Yeah.
It looks older
Yeah.
than it is, to be
That
honest.
kind of looks like what does it look like? Why does it look familiar?
I do
I'm
not know.
dumb. Never mind.
Anyways, so this is kind of this
Like,
guy's
it kind of looks like a Porsche, right? Sort
maybe
of.
with the headlights there like that, yeah.
I think. I'm not very good with cars.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of like those headlights.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah. Anyways, the reason I wanted to bring this up because
Oh yeah, you're talking about how it's
the
a hybrid.
way that
Hybrid of what? Is it gas and electric?
so
Like
the way that
normal?
it works, all of the wheels are driven by electric motors. So
Okay.
it's basically electric. It just has a generator that powers those electric motors. And the reason that's interesting is because the fuck was that? The reason it was interesting is because you can drive it like an electric car no matter what. Like let's say gasoline is banned. This is still a beautiful fine electric car basically. Except what it offers that currently as far as I'm aware, it's hard to either come by or no one else offers is the fact that you don't have to rely on charging stations if there's none around. You can put gas into the tank and it will be a generator and power those electric motors. So this is basically the best of both worlds. Like,
so I have a
future-proof,
question
I'd
about
say.
this. So would it run? Would they
Without
run both
gas?
simultaneously? Hold on. Would they run simultaneously, or would they run one and then one after the other? Like, would the gas run out and then it go to like the electric reserve, or is there no electric reserve? And is it only powered by the generator?
I'm not totally sure how that functions. There is an electric only mode. I know that much.
I was gonna say, like, is there a way to only like? I'm sure, like, if it's like just like an A to B car and you have an electric charging station at home, that'd be amazing, and you'd never have to buy gas. But for emergency reasons, like let's say you're on a
right,
road
but
trip
you could road trip
and you
this
wanted to
electric
drive
car
like
without
Yeah.
planning.
800 miles.
Yeah.
Let's say you wanted to drive like 800 miles. Could you have like the electric reserve go down? Then like at some point you stop your car, you turn on the gasoline engine in the back, and then it recharges your wheels, whatever. You just keep driving. Is that how that works?
I would assume something like that. I'm not totally sure. Like I said,
You
But-
said you don't need gas for it to run though?
no. So you can charge it like an electric car and drive it for like I think this is kind of old too, by the way. They actually went out of business, unfortunately, but
That
it was
sucks.
bought back, and they're now making it under a different name. It's like the Romeo or
Tesla.
something like that.
Mm.
But the reason I think it's so cool is because it's not that you can't drive really far with an electric vehicle, even like the Tesla, right? It has the best infrastructure. It's just you have to plan it. There's a lot of
Right.
planning there. But if you want an EV for your daily, right? Like, I'll be honest, I don't. Even if I drive like half an hour somewhere, half an hour back, like the mileage is probably not enough to go through this thing's electric range. And I come
It
like
probably wouldn't
straight
be
home
enough
on
to
road
go
trips like
through
that.
a Tesla's range either, though, because
No,
I think
but
Teslas are like at 300-ish
I think this
mile
thing's
range.
electric mile range is like 50 or 60, something like that. It is a little
Mm.
small, but like I said, this is an older
Well,
vehicle and they
yeah, I
went
was gonna
out of
say I'm
business.
curious about that because adding the weight of a gasoline generator, I would imagine inhibits the efficiency and adds weight and
Maybe,
such.
but also like I don't know. Efficiency with a gas generator is more dependent on how much fuel consumption you have between stops. Whereas with a battery, the charge time is longer and they're heavier, but you get more range. So like let's say, I don't know, you put like 2 gallons in it, right? And that gets you like 100 miles of range. I don't know how efficient that is compared to just having batteries there instead of that gas motor. But what it does give you is the fact that you can stop, fill up wherever, and just go. Um, but yeah, basically you can drive an EV, which is half of what this is, all electric,
Right.
like all day, wherever on your Sunday trips, whatever, who cares? And then if you do have to go somewhere far, you can just treat it like a regular car, and I think that's great. Because
Yeah.
like if I were to go up north in my Tesla into the UP, I would have to plan that out. That'd be a planned road
Right.
trip, as opposed to what I do currently, which is like I just drive until it's kind of low. I
Just
get off, I
drags.
get a snack, and I get back on. I don't have to think about it.
Mm.
So I just think it's a really cool uh, option or idea. Obviously, it's not a popular one, and this company kind of died and then came back.
I
But
kind of like it though, because it's like you can have a reserve of power with like a gas generator that you just keep stored, and even then,
and you don't
if
have
you
to
fill
use
up the
it.
generator, you could also keep extra gasoline in the car as well.
Well, doesn't that? I think it maybe just comes down to market. Because when you think about it, if you want a car that's constantly just being able to go, you would just probably get like a really efficient gas vehicle. And if you wanted an EV, you would just get like an EV that has really good range.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I have an
it's
idea.
like it's a jack of all trades, master of none. And in the topic of cars, I feel like someone that's interested in an EV is just going to get something that has the best
Well,
range.
and they took the route too as a company to be this fancy, beautiful, like bespoke thing that has
Mhm.
personality. Because like there was one guy I was listening to, he tried both because his wife wanted a nice car, and she
Mhm.
actually ended up getting a Maserati instead of this or the Tesla. Her opinion on this was she loves the Fisker, and they both did. They think it's amazing. It does something cool. It has a lot of
Mhm.
personality and like uh, just it's got a lot to it. It's a personal car as an individual, whereas the Tesla did everything right. It's great for like just everything except in their opinion compared to this, it had no personality. It was so good it was almost boring, if that makes sense.
Right.
So they went with a Maserati because, well, the problem with this, by the way, and the reason they didn't go with this was because, um, like I told you, the business didn't do well and they got rebought, and it's hard to come by with service. They called
Yeah.
someone trying to get a quote saying, "Hey, I want to look at this car," and it just didn't go well. And they're like, "It would be such a headache, and it does not
Right.
make sense." So that is why they didn't choose and ended up going with the Maserati because it's got that individual personality, and you can go get it worked on. And value wise, I mean, it's a Maserati.
Kind of reminds me of like why Microsoft's Zune didn't work,
Yeah,
right? Because the Apple had all these fucking accessories you could do for it. It had a really good app store, and really that was pretty much it. And they did it first. That was pretty much it. And Zune was in some ways like a superior product, like it played higher value. Yeah, higher quality audio files, if I remember correctly, and had these really cool, like technologically advanced features that
Like green screen.
iPod didn't have at all. But
Oh,
Is
you said
it-
the Zune. I thought you said Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Zune.
remember the Zune. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
I thought the green screen was gonna pick up the weed. It's not like.
Well, I don't have you on chroma key because you don't have a green screen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
chroma bastard.
Oh,
When are you
he's
getting
talking
a
about-
green screen?
Yeah, Noah, when are you getting your
Cool,
screen
okay.
that is green?
After I talk about this, let me bring up a couple other topics that I kind of
Also,
want.
is that a Lasco fan?
A what?
A Lasco fan in the back? Did it come in a blue box? Blue cardboard
a-
box?
A big square box that.
Was
fit
it blue?
Just, I believe it might have been. It came from Walmart.
Yep, I have the same
I
fan.
was gonna say, I figure most people in America that shop at Walmart have that fan.
I'm
Anyway,
a Sam's Club boy.
The green
Fuck
screen.
Walmart.
The green screen is on hold. As
you
in, I
order
have
it?
not purchased. No, I have not purchased.
Oh.
I thought you meant like you ordered it and they're just like, no, fuck you. No, green
I didn't-
screen for you.
It's on hold in my mind. It's not like, honestly, I know that you guys have been saying it. I don't care that my background is this, to be honest, because I think it's kind of like a neater background. I don't think it's like that big of a deal, but I know it looks better in this like perspective with like matching you guys. It's not been a top priority in my mind. I should get one though. Anyway, I want to bring up the fact that I finally got ranked in CS:GO after owning the game for fucking 10 years.
So you're silver 1.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You finally took it serious.
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I was
And
bottom
that's why
flag
he's
every
silver
game I
one.
played. That's why I'm silver one.
That's too
Okay, I
funny.
actually popped off my last few games because I was actually like trying to just get ranked. I'm like, we have to win. So I wasn't top frag one of the games, but I was like pretty close for most of the game. Then they took over, but I was opping most of the fucking game, and I think I understand how to use an op in CS:GO now.
Op is like really easy once you get like the basics.
Yeah, I just aim and click, and it just goes.
Yeah,
"Poo!"
it's nice. I'm really good at the op because the op is easier to use than the AK.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually
AK
is.
is nice because headshots.
Yeah.
Yeah, AK is good for headshots, but that's if you tap. The spray is easy to like. If you get the spray down, you can do it. It's just like I'd rather just get one shot and be over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd prefer the op over the AK. Easily.
Well, that's why like how did we switch topics? Anyway, it's just
switched
funny
it.
because like I used to use the what is it, the silenced M4, the M4A1S or whatever it is, and then like I've kind
the
of
basic seaside rifle.
yeah, except it's silenced, and now I've kind of went back to the normal M4A1, or you know what I mean, the unsilenced one, just because I don't know, I feel like the spray pattern is more similar to the AK.
Yeah.
Um,
I honestly used the M4A1S a lot just because I would see someone like play, and it'd be funny because like people come out of nowhere and it's just quietly like
yeah,
and then they die.
you can't hear anything. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It was just
My-
satisfying, like to kill with that. Like
And
time
no
to
one knows
kill
where you
wasn't any
are.
faster or anything, but it was just
My
like
favorite
satisfying.
person to watch play was
Well,
this
he's
motherfucker was
try
so
hard.
good. But I hated playing with him because he'd fucking yell at me. He'd be like, "Aim at the fucking
he's
head."
like one
you
of
fucking
those middle
retard."
school
And I'm like,
basketball coaches who
"Whoa."
treats it like the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
I liked
There's
playing
nothing
with
wrong with that
because-
to a
because-
point.
is good. It's
Yeah.
really good, and he doesn't usually freak out too much.
Yeah, no, like laughs when he
Yeah.
dies.
See,
Or, like,
I
at us.
think there's a time to freak out, and that's if like everyone's like huddled together and they're like, "All right, we're gonna win this shit," and then you get into the game and then you
Yeah.
go hard, and you got sweaty hands.
I've always
but
kind of
that's
been
kind of
like,
rare.
yeah,
I'd rather
I've
just
always kind of
casually
been
play to
sad
win.
when people are like, not sad, but like maybe like, huh, you know, like I don't think you think about it the same way. Like when people are like, oh, you're so sweaty, or oh, it's just a game, and it's like, when I do anything, I want to be good at it,
Yeah,
you know. So it's like even if you get frustrated, like obviously there's some limits. Like if you level rage, there's probably should take a break. But
pussy.
like I do get like going, oh damn it, or you know, like just like
yeah.
because it means you weren't good enough. Like
See-
if you're losing at something, it means you weren't good enough. So if you spend a lot of time trying to be good and you're not good enough, that can be frustrating.
I agree.
And like so when people get frustrated, I feel like your knee jerk reaction shouldn't be, oh, it's just a game. Because like anything that you're spending time on and you're trying to be good at, sure there are other things that you could do that are more beneficial, whatever, like real life. And obviously there should be a balance. But if you want to spend time on something, it's okay to get frustrated if you
I
suck.
like when in Warzone when you kill someone if they have their mic on there's like a death
Hot mic?
comm
Yeah.
and like it's funny the responses you get, but also like I love it when you kill someone and they're like it ain't much but it's hard work. Like it's like be funny about it, you know? Like
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And I want to be
those are
more like
nice.
that where it's just like I'm
True.
playing and then I'm mad but I'm also trying to be funny cuz that gets
Yeah.
that same energy out but like they might chuckle and
Right.
they'll have a good game. Look, if I'm out, win for me, please.
Yeah.
So I should spectate more. That'd be fun.
I
Also,
think
when it
Well,
comes
let's
to
play
I think
Warzone.
being
Warzone, it's a lot
serious,
easier in the morning because everyone at late at night is all sweaty because they just got back from work and they really are trying to win.
I
So if
get
you want to
like the
win, play
serious
in the
thing,
morning.
but like when I come home from work and I just want to like chill, I don't take the game seriously. I'm just like I can take a bong rip, and
Well,
whoever's
that's
on
why
my
we
team
said
is
no
just not
ranked the
having
other
a good
day.
time. Okay, but like the thing is, like I'm not bad at games. It's just like when I stop paying attention is when I'm bad. Like if I'm like looking at my phone and I run into like
Oh,
fight,
anytime he's high, which is all the time. So all the
yeah,
time he's bad.
I'm not bad. It's just that I don't pay attention.
No,
So I'll
I
like
know.
literally if I run in, I'll like die because I'm like looking at my phone or something. But like if I actually focus, I'm not bad at the game. It's just like
No.
I'm
Like there'll
like
be times when I'm like, okay, Noah, hold the site. I gotta go cover the other site because our teammate's fucking dead. And
quad
you'll hold
feed.
shit. And like I think that's kind of getting into what Ron was saying is like once you're really focused in, it can get super like exhilarating. Your heart starts pounding. You know, your
Yeah.
breath becomes a little bit. Oh
Over
fuck! Your
pixels.
eyes widen a little bit. You get a little adrenaline rush.
Yeah, when
It's
that
nice.
happens
It's
when
fun.
you clutch up. If it's
Oh
like
yeah.
1v3 or
Efficiency
1v4, that is the best
aspirating after.
example of like, oh my god, I gotta win, and all the
Yeah.
pressure's on me. That's why it's kind of messed up, but like it's kind of satisfying to get like I don't know 3 kills and then die, because then the last 2 is up to everyone else or whatever. Like I don't have to, look, I did my part. Now I
Yeah,
don't
it's
have to
like,
finish it.
and honestly, that's like KD too. Like as long as
Yeah,
you're 1-1, at least you're like, okay, I'm doing my job. So
yeah.
that one person on bottom frag, it's all his fucking fault if we lose. You
He's
know?
just walking around staring at his toes.
The funny thing that you bring up about KD is like every game before my last couple games was like I was negative in KD. I'd always have more deaths than kills, usually marginally higher, like 30 deaths and like 2 kills my first few games.
Mm.
And then like my last game, I got like 25 kills and I got
Damn.
maybe 10 deaths. It wasn't a
Damn.
bad game. I actually focused, and that was all with the op.
Yeah.
Literally all with the op, minus like pistol rounds and like a couple
Mm.
SMG save rounds if I died.
Well, like
but,
the funny thing about CS:GO too is like sometimes you just get really fucking unlucky. So that's why like KD, especially in like a game
Mhm.
like CS:GO, isn't a huge issue. Because like if you're the first person
Yeah.
and you got 5 people coming at you, yeah, you're gonna have more deaths because you're always the first fucking line of defense, and maybe you just like damage them up a little bit. But like
There's
if you
always
die,
the first guy that dies.
yeah, like
And
if
sometimes
you're
just
there's
like,
always the
every
first one who
round.
gets like fucking steamrolled by 4 people, and if you're that guy all the time, well,
It
one,
sucks
maybe
when
let
it
your
happens.
teammates die too. But
Yeah, rotate
you know, it's
that a
like it
little. 'Cause
happens. You know?
also, if you repeat the position all game, not only is the enemy gonna know, but also like you're gonna get pretty tired of it. So that's why it's
Okay.
nice to like rotate to like, okay, I'll cover B site, or okay,
I can disagree in certain matters though. So
What was that?
sometimes I can disagree in certain parts of that though, because like if I stay in the same spot, there's a certain spot
if you're doing
on
good, then stay.
Inferno
Oh yeah.
when you're heading towards B site down that little alleyway, and it's when you're on counter terrorist side, and you are like you can boost somebody up that little wall, but like you're sitting below it. I always like to sit below it, and like usually that's the first person to die, but I always just like wait there with a little shotgun and just poof poof poof, and just get like 2 or 3 kills there right off the bat because they don't even expect you running. Like they just run right past.
Well, that kind of gets into like there's a philosophy in Smash Bros that like when people complain about you constantly using the same option, you just say, well, until you punish me for using the option, I'm going to keep doing
Yeah.
what works. You know, so that's kind of
Exactly.
that same sentiment.
That's
Well, that's
true.
why, like in Warzone, when there's like campers or rats or whatever you want to call them. Like, it's
Assholes.
funny to watch streamers especially get so mad at them, and then just like a group of 4 gang up on a group of 1 and just demolish them because they're like, don't do that again. We are not having it. We are going to obliterate you. I do not care. We'll
Calling
even
50
clip
different
you. Like,
strikes on him.
yeah, it's
The
if
entire
someone's doing
lobby just
something
won't make
annoying,
it-
like, tell them they're wrong, beat them. But also, like, if you're losing, then maybe switch it up.
Yeah.
Bro, my favorite thing is to do is even when I'm losing, just do the same exact thing.
Have
Like-
I ever told you the definition of insanity?
Ooh.
Yeah,
My second or third video on my channel is my favorite because it has on we're on Mirage, I think.
Yeah, I remember playing this. He kept fucking. He's like, I'm gonna kill that op. I'm gonna kill that op, and he kept going mid and dying.
Yes, literally
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah,
Every
I
game.
played with you that game. You probably hear me in the video saying, Nick, stop going fucking mid. You lose every single time.
And then
He's like, no, I'm gonna get him.
Yes. That's happened
Yeah.
a few different times then. That's happened
Yeah.
a few different times.
And it's always with an op too. He's like, I'm gonna beat him.
And he has
have
like
you seen
no
how he
eco.
plays too?
Eco is
Like
so
his cramped
bad.
little desk.
Dude,
It's
I used
so-
to
I
live with
don't
No,
him.
it's like
understand.
he's like literally like this.
That
fucking
room
insane.
that he plays in is where I used to live.
Well, and then
and,
he'll put his leg
and
up
my
like
desk
this.
was right next to his. So I'd see him sitting, like this. He'd be sitting.
He does that fucking leg shit, and I'm too fat to do that.
I mean, I do it sometimes.
I tuck under my thigh sometimes.
No, yeah, I do that, but like Nick's like a gremlin when he sits. I
Yeah,
swear.
he looks like, and he'll
Funny.
do like the chin thing too, where he'll like, oh fuck, I don't have enough space because my green screen's too close. But he'll fucking like, put his like
Yes.
knee up to his chin and like,
Dude,
he said,
he looks like a goblin, dude. I swear.
got him.
I love it, I swear, but like he looks like a goblin.
Well,
What's sad too is he's like pretty good at CS, at least
Well,
when
it's
he
because
used to
he's
play.
used to how he plays, right?
Right.
Like, we all are used to our own desks, and his is like an L-shaped one, and his mouse hand is all the way back here, and his knees up
Yeah.
here,
He
and
has,
he's doing
like, the
this.
arm, like the arm.
Yeah, my man's like playing behind him
Yeah,
with his mouse. It's fucking nutty.
I like the idea of having like a secondary thing over here because I kind of want to get into like making music and I want to have like my keyboard here, but like I don't have another desk and I don't have enough space to
Your
really.
keyboards
like, put
normally
another
come with
desk
stands.
here. It did, but
They're
it
like
broke.
X stands, and then it sits on
Here.
top.
To
Let me get my keyboard.
run
You
some
actually see it.
wire,
Here,
run
look
some
at the-
wire through the ceiling and hang
Look
it
under
like a
the
hammock.
desk. Look under the table there, the wooden table. No, on my screen,
There's nothing there.
right here, right.
Oh, literally. You literally asking us to. Yeah, okay, I see it. Under the fan, under the Lasco fan.
Mm.
Why? I love how he's holding it like he's about to fucking kill someone. You picked the wrong house, fool.
Yeah, but that keyboard has like 30 different instruments in it. And like they sound just like the instruments. And I can also hook it up to my PC via XLR, USB, or just regular audio jack.
Bluetooth.
No, sadly, it's an older one. Didn't
I don't
have
think you'd
Bluetooth.
want that.
So I
For
don't even think that's a thing, is
mixing?
it? Bluetooth.
No,
wouldn't
it
want
wouldn't be good. It
Bluetooth.
would have too much distortion. Music has to be like really direct. And usually there's a few little like, if it's not plugged in all the way, there's gonna be a tiny little bit of distortion.
We both were in band.
I was in trumpet, and I didn't have anything technical like that. Cause
I was in trumpet.
I played trumpet until freshman year, and I hated it because I wanted to be percussion, or like play like keyboard or something. Because I know how to play the keyboard, and they're like, "No, you're trumpet. We need trumpets," and I'm like,
Listen.
"Fuck you."
Drums are cool, but I swear, at least most of the percussion kids that I know, always fucking arrogant as shit.
Yeah,
Hey,
they were.
hey, wait, isn't that me? I'm kind of like arrogant,
No, you're not what they were.
like in a funny way.
It's just, it's not.
No.
You don't.
The way they did it was not funny.
Oh, so they're like
It was
actually
like-
dicks. They're
They
like,
just.
Cool. And
Drumming
if
is
anyone
better.
listening plays drums, fuck no.
I don't know.
You're
They
probably
always
fine,
just seem
hopefully.
to be like, we're the cool kids of the band.
Yeah.
you know.
And it's
The
like, bro,
word, like,
you
if it's like
bang, you
anything
take
like
stick and bang on other thing.
I have wanted to talk about music in this podcast. We can segue to that in a second, but I want to talk to you guys about this first. Did you guys have at this school or at your school? Sorry, I'm a little high. At your school, people like this that were like really like what is it? What's like the word?
Stupid.
Retarded.
Were there what? No. Fuck. It's like if like someone has a hobby and someone else like has like a shirt, like okay, I am wearing a Rolling Stone shirt. I've never listened to the Rolling Stones. And let's say someone comes up to you and you're wearing a shirt like this and they're like, name 15 Rolling Stone
A
songs right now.
gatekeeper.
Yes, that's the word, gatekeeper. I wanted to say bootlicker, but like that's not the proper term for it.
No.
No, it's not. Sorry. Anyway, gatekeeper.
Did we
Did
have
you guys
people
have
like
like
that?
was
I
that
didn't
think
like
know any.
was that like the drum person was like a gatekeeper? I was trying to think.
Kinda, actually.
Gatekeepy, like they're like the only person
Maybe
that
when
ever
it
in
came to
their
like
history that knew
rhythm,
about drums.
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh.
Or
Oh,
like,
yeah, 'cause
well,
drummers are
do
meant
you
to sound.
remember Winter Drumline, Ron?
Wait.
Anyone that would practice
Wait,
or like that would want to get into battery, they'd be like, well,
Zach
well,
Wells.
actually, well,
Zach was
actually.
primarily trombone.
Oh, was he not?
No,
I
he was a
figured drum.
euphonium, you cheeky.
Well,
Is that horn still? I thought
big
that was
horn.
a drum. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought
but
he
I
played
wanted to talk
trombone
about
on the
music.
field though.
I wanted to talk
No.
about music a
Oh.
little bit because
You
I
might be
wanted to
thinking
know.
of Matt.
No, I'm just associating all of low brass as low brass.
I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about music a bit because I wanted to talk to you guys about like I wanted to ask you guys what you guys' like genres of music are, like what like your playlist is like if you guys have like a liked playlist that you go through or like your separate playlist type thing. Because I have a very like I just have one
Jordan doesn't believe in
singular playlist
playlists.
with all of my I have one singular playlist with all my liked songs on it, but it has like a variety of like different genres. I think when I got like the Spotify yearly thing, it was like 500 different genres of music and then like 200 something subgenres or some
Damn.
shit like that. I really delved into music a little bit, which is why I want to start making my own music because I have an idea of what I want to make now. I know nothing about music theory, but I kind of want to get into it a little bit. I don't know, like
Well, you could
it's
always
interesting
learn.
a bit. It's like interesting a bit. I'm not like in. I wasn't like a band kid. I think. I don't think I would have been like much of like a band type person. I'm more of like a solo music person. I think and like that's probably why I dropped out of band. But like I wonder like what are you guys' music tastes? I kind of know Ron's a bit, but Jordan, you're the one that introduced me to MGMT actually. But, like,
Yeah.
other than that, what else do you?
Well, great song by the way. Kids by MGMT. If anyone likes older, I don't even know what you would call it, alternative music. Anyway, my taste in music is
Psychedelia
so
pop.
fucking broad. Like it, like you said, I kind of just have like a liked playlist. I don't usually sit inside a single genre for any extended period of time unless I'm like listening through an album or whatever is like the only time. But I like a lot of, I'd say primarily if it has elements of like what do you call it? Why am I having a fucking aneurysm?
Brain AIDS.
Brain AIDS. Not. I'm having a fucking like heart attack. What is this?
I mean, you use YouTube Music, so I mean, I ask you about playlists, and you're like, "Well, I just kind of tap something, and it plays the music for me, right?"
Yeah.
Like that's how you function.
I
That
think
way?
Spotify has something similar to
Well,
it.
I was
Well-
telling you about radios. So you choose a song or an album or a genre, and then you just
Yeah.
hit play this radio that's based on this thing, and it will play suggested songs, similar songs you already
Right, you
like.
can do the same thing on YouTube
Yeah.
Music, but like the thing that I go through is called like your playlist or my playlist or my super mix. It's called some shit like that. And it's like it's not a specific genre, it's just any sort of genre or songs that you like, it'll kind of shit them out at you. But I know the word I was thinking of. Any elements of like EDM or like what do you call it? House, dubstep,
Drum
I
and
kinda like,
bass.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, any sort of that thing is like a lot of primarily what I listen to.
So, are
Some
you more like
alternative stuff.
electronic type music, or are you more like actual instruments type music?
More electronic recently. Though I love like orchestra stuff. Like I said, my taste is so stupid. Like
Yeah.
I'll have like like I'll be listening to a song in the car and it'll be like a fucking anime opening, a fucking orchestra thing, maybe like something from John Williams or like Sousa or something. And then
Ooh,
it'll be
John
like
Williams is great, actually. Oh
yeah.
my god.
And then it'll be like some fucking like maybe AJR, I really like AJR, and then it'll be like a fucking
Oh,
Ron is dead. And then it'll be like some
Damn.
fucking
I'm back.
dubstep shit.
I think Kaya probably just tried to call me. Oh, I'm gone.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Tokaya,
Oh.
Tokaya,
No.
Tokaya.
Anniversary tomorrow.
Anniversary tomorrow. I am man of house. No anniversary today.
Jesus, that's misogynistic. Gang, gang.
Oh, shift drunk? It's moving though.
Oh, so when I say instruments, I didn't expect like orchestra. That makes sense. I haven't actually delved into that more. I'm more of like I like jazzy, folky, um, like rock type stuff.
Hmm.
Like a good mix of psychedelic rock and folk is like probably like Kansas, if you've heard of Dust in the Wind, or there's like
Did you call
Grateful
that
Dead.
psychedelic rock?
Grateful Dead. Yeah,
Right,
like,
but did you call
it has mixed.
Dust in
It
the
does have.
Wind?
Okay, it's not.
I don't
Okay, a
agree
lot
with
of things are
that.
considered psychedelic because like a lot of like people collectively have listened to these songs and said this has given me like great feelings of emotion or epiphanies on psychedelics. And I will say that when I took mushrooms and I listened to Dust in the Wind and I looked at the clouds, I genuinely was crying.
Well, that might be
Not
more
like-
of like
It was the beauty of the moment. It was the beauty of the moment that it brought out of me, and I like every time that I listen to that song, it just like makes me feel like good.
I'm not
you know?
saying that
You
that
should.
doesn't
Oh,
make
you
sense.
should listen to some like. Oh, what is the fucking song called? Because I remember. I don't even remember what it was called, Ron, but it was one song we played. I would get like a little teary eyed every time that we got to a certain part. It was so fucking good. I think you can get that feeling though from like any type of music.
There's a lot of music.
depending.
Like if you have like a certain moment, or if you like relate to the song in a certain way, there's a lot of
Yeah.
songs that can make you feel. And that's like what my playlist consists of. A lot of songs that make me feel like emotional in some ways. Like I
Hmm.
remember like
Really have like a lot
okay,
of
so
heart.
at
in them.
work we have this big speaker that Ron used to bring in, and like I don't usually take control of the playlist because I don't really like playing my songs out because they're not like hype songs. They're not like songs you want to listen to at work. And like I was in control of the speaker one day because Ron's phone was dead, and Ron's like, "Damn, Noah, these are like some fucking sad songs you're playing." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just chilling right now. I'm like vibing. Like I don't know, like they like make me like think a little bit more. Like they're introspective songs, and I
Yeah.
love introspective songs. And I also like have the entire discography of MGMT just because they're like a really good artist.
Well, like that's a really good example, especially like because it's just like
they literally
it's
have a song
almost
called
it's like
Introspection.
a feeling of melancholy and like nostalgia all kind of rolled into one. Have you
There's-
listened to Gorillaz?
I have a couple of their songs. I do like Saturn's Bars, and I love, of course, what's the Feel Good Inc. Of course, like everyone's heard of that one. There's a couple other ones. Isn't there one called Kid with a Gun?
Oh,
The
I don't
Kids with
remember.
Guns.
I'm not sure.
I've listened to them a little bit, but I haven't delved deep. I do like the songs that I've heard though, for sure.
Yeah.
They're alternative, a little bit like poppy, or not pop, punk, rocky, right? Is that what they'd be considered?
I'm not sure what they would be considered,
There's-
honestly.
Oh, Spotify might actually like show you like what.
September's
But I'm-
pretty good.
Do you
Bro.
remember? Oh yeah,
What
that's
would you call it? September disco-y?
yeah. I definitely
what
say a
the
little bit
fuck
of
would you call
disco
that?
funk and a little bit of like
Yeah.
probably a little
Soul?
bit of rock too, but a little bit of orchestra mixed in there as well. Like, or not orchestra, big band. Sorry, big band. That's a difference for sure.
Where
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
There is a way to know the genre of the song for sure. I don't know where to check though.
No, that's not it.
It doesn't say it there. Aw.
Cleveland.
Ooh, I think a really amazing artist that is like psychedelic rock, very considered, is Pink
Funk
Floyd.
band, popular funk band of the 70s.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
I'll
I
say
think an
Remember
amazing
it was like
psychedelic
the
rock band. I know, Ron, you asked like a question about psychedelic rock a little bit ago. I think like the most basic one that you can get into is Pink Floyd, of course. Dark Side of the Moon is amazing.
See, those tend to make more sense to me than something like Kansas. I feel like with Dust in the Wind, like what you're saying makes sense. It's just I don't think that you could consider that song like psychedelic just because people on psychedelics listen to it. You know,
Ron, you haven't taken psychedelics.
and I don't plan on it,
That's
but that's
exactly.
what I'm saying.
I
though.
don't think you know what I'm talking about then.
Well, it's
Also
not a
touch off.
genre. They didn't write it for that.
No, I think they did. These fuckers were on fucking drugs when they made these albums.
Well, most artists are, but that's not the genre
Exactly.
for it.
But like, okay, just because you don't make it specifically to be psychedelic, a lot of these songs end up being like, okay, Let It Happen by Tame Impala. And most of Tame Impala's songs are relatively psychedelic in
Tame
manner.
Impala's good. I like
Tame Impala is really good. But they have like psychedelic
Playing
songs.
Until We Die. What the fuck is that? What the
Oh,
fuck
I've
is
heard
that?
of that game.
What is that?
But
Until
Jordan,
We Die.
I know like you haven't like listened, like you've never done drugs before, but you've listened to like MGMT, you've listened to like Tame Impala, you've listened to like electronic music, and you know like that sounds like crazy as shit in your head, right? Like that makes you like
Yeah. So I think I get where you're coming from. Like, I think especially songs that either have a really, like I was saying, like either nostalgic, like melancholy feel rolled into it. If you were like on under like on shrooms or something, and you're just like kind of vibing. So songs that like have that element or like elements of like not as much vocals, where like you can really just kind of hear the music. But I also see what Ron's saying, where it's like, if on drug, not necessarily mean drug song. Like
yeah. But
I think
like,
there's definitely songs that like I like really just you can sort of just real I don't
You
like
can
using the
feel
word
it.
vibe
You
because
can
I feel like
feel
it's so overused. But like you can really just sort of sit back and just kind of let it wash over you and really feel the music.
you can literally feel certain songs though, right? Like am I
Oh,
am I
yeah.
wrong in saying that like music can have a
Dude,
physical
I am
effect on your body?
chronic head bobber. If I'm hearing a song that's like really good.
Well, and as for like
you-
feelings and stuff, I know I've played this one at work. It's like really bassy and synthy, and it
Well,
has
it's not
like
just
wub
how
wub sounds and
loud
stuff.
or big of bass the music is.
No,
Sometimes
no, you
music
can
is
listen to
so-
this.
No, he's
by
talking about like
itself.
the depth.
This
The
the
depth.
depth.
He showed
yeah.
me this one. Yeah.
This
Like
one
there's a lot of what
specifically,
do you
there's
call
a
it?
lot
Layers,
going on.
elements,
It's
depth.
a soundscape.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
can
that's a good
appreciate that
term for
without
it.
being on drugs, but obviously with drugs, like it'll be even more crazy soundscape. But
Of
like,
course.
I would love to create something like this, not for the purpose of it being something psychedelic, if that makes sense.
There's
That's all
this
I'm trying to
song.
get at.
There's this song called Sun. Literally just called Sun, and it's by some Chinese name dude or something. I don't see it. Chinese name dude.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's fucking. I gotta try to find it. It's so good.
But what I mean by feel, I don't mean like songs that like are literally meant to make you feel. I mean like songs that like hit you in such an emotional way, or like hit you in such like a way like that they come across that like make you like genuinely feel something, even though like not physically engineered. Like there are like certain wavelengths that will make you get a certain wavelength or a certain emotion anyway from that wavelength.
Well, that's probably planned though, right? Like songs aren't made like emotionless, so usually they made because they have a
It's
certain
usually-
style that they like.
It's usually because like in the moment they feel that emotion themselves.
Right.
Sometimes people make these songs
How do
just
I-
like specifically for that emotion, if that makes
Can I
sense.
just copy this? Does that work? That might work. Boop. I really like this song. It's really nice if you're just driving and you want to go on like a nice drive, or you're just reading, or you're sitting alone, walking at night. It's a good one. Yeah, it's literally just called Sun, and I don't know the artist because it's just fucking Chinese
Right.
characters.
I don't know though. Like some songs like aren't necessarily planned to make you like physically feel
Oh,
those things. Like
I don't mean to interrupt, but we never answered what Noah's dream car would be.
Oh, I don't
yeah,
have a
or
dream car,
yours.
honestly.
You haven't seen a car yet where you're like, damn, that'd be pretty cool outside.
I don't know. I'm not like big into cars, to be honest. Like I just do like if I move into like up like north or whatever I plan on moving, I'd probably just buy like a pickup truck that has like at least 4-wheel drive for like the winter, and that's it.
So you would like, so if you've seen one of those fucking old Volkswagen fucking
The VW
vans,
bus.
you wouldn't be like,
I
"Ooh,
want. Dude, they're
I mean,
coming out with
those
a
are
new one
cool.
as an electric vehicle. That's
Those-
really cool.
what?
Those are
That's so
cool.
cool."
And like I have planned on buying like a van to fix up or like some sort of like mini bus to fix up as like a road trip type vehicle to where like if we needed to sleep in a parking lot, you don't need like a campground.
But there's
you
not
just
like
park
a
it somewhere.
specific one that tickles your fancy.
I mean, the VW bus is cool, but it's like kind of overpriced in a gas.
What about a
guzzler.
modern one? Because they might be coming
That's
out with
electric.
the EV.
But like I said, like they are cool looking, but it's also I'm not looking for like cool looking on the outside. I'm looking for space on the inside and modifiability. I'm looking for like if I could put like a solar panel on the top for like powering like the fridge and like other things like AC and
So
shit.
an express
And-
van.
Yeah, like I'm looking for or even like a school bus that I could modify, like a miniature school bus, like like the short buses, like like the retard buses, um, those buses. I was thinking of buying one of those.
So
just drawing a giant
basically,
hot leaf
you
on it
want
and then just driving it across the
like an
United States.
Escalade limo that you could gut out, make into like a
What?
little.
No, not a limo at all, Ron. No,
Well, it
I
doesn't
want to
have
be
to
able
be
to
a
drive
long
the car.
limo. It could be a short limo.
He wants a freaking. I know what he wants. He
Then we'll
wants
be
like a
both.
freaking fleet van, bro.
I want something
Like
that
a
can take like
Mercedes
switchback
fucking-
turns safe. Like I don't want like a bus type thing, like like on like mountain turns, because I'd probably be driving in like the Rockies a bit. I want to go to like the Appalachian Mountains and shit too.
You ain't taking a bus up the fucking mountains, my
No,
man.
that's what I'm saying. Is like a short bus could do it, but like that's like the
The
least
Express
plausible
Sprinter
one.
van was
Yeah,
your
yeah.
best choice,
That's
but
a-
you already said you wanted that, so that makes sense. Okay,
Express
well, I was just
what van?
yeah,
curious
yeah.
if
Here,
you
look at
had
this. Look at this.
any
Send
kind
No,
it in
what's
the demo.
What's a better image? Because this is like a mini camper, but less stupid. Boop.
Is it
Look
in
at
the-
that.
Oh,
Jordan. 1 minute.
yeah, that's actually like the perfect size. Low key, because like you could easily take like mountain roads. You could easily like run whenever
We're
Ron
going
pulls
on a
out
short
plate.
break.
Yes, we are. But I don't know. Like you can literally make like a kitchenette like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so my plan is like I want to be able to have like a small kitchenette, and then I also want to have a small desk for my
Yeah,
PC.
so one of these.
All right.
Yeah, I'd love to have like a desk for my PC still, like not like a big desk, like something like maybe even like this wide for a monitor, and I could have the PC under it, or even like set like something on top of the PC to have my monitor on. Just like a very compact desk, to where I could still like do like the podcast on the go. You know?
Do any
You'd
of
also
these?
need the Tesla Starlink, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, holy shit, I could do
Be like-
that.
Gaming on the go.
I feel like, all right, Brittany, drive. I'm gonna play a match of competitive CS:GO, and it's just like pounding on the screen or whatever because I'm getting pissed.
Son of a bitch!
She swerves.
Come on, I'm silver 2, goddammit!
Oh, this is cool. They got a tent on
Oh
the
yeah,
top.
that looks really cool.
Bro, that is pretty sick though.
Then you need like a revolver, so in
Wait,
case the
what's this
fucking
called, though?
bears- It's the
What's the
Mercedes
Van
Benz
life.
Sprinter.
Mercedes Sprinter?
Yes.
Yeah, they're popular. I mean, any of the cargo vans are popular for this sort of thing.
Yeah, how much? Can you look up the price range for those for me?
I
real
think
quick,
they were
Ron?
like 30, 40.
Really? That's not bad actually.
I could be wrong though. What is this one? 36,000. It probably depends on what type of like.
Oh, no, please blur the
options.
screen for like 5 seconds. I just doxed myself and where we're at.
Hell yeah!
Wow. That's nah. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Hey.
you see, please keep it blurred until now.
Nah, Lamau, I'm actually gonna like just dox us real quick. Fuck
Nah.
it, right?
I had Messenger open. Don't dox that, please.
I'm gonna put whatever
Dox
that
it.
message was in the podcast.
In
as well.
post.
That's gonna be
In
the
full resolution.
that's gonna be the thumbnail actually.
Oh, what the heck is this? That's ugly.
What's ugly? What are you looking at? We can't see what you're
Oh,
looking
that's
at.
right.
A mirror.
Oh, I'm not even full screen. What a hoodlum.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
This
black and
thing, it's
yellow.
ugly.
Ugh, that is ugly. It looks like
Hey.
something. Sure. I can't get my chin out there enough. It's like
That's the Crimson Chin.
oh fuck. Oh no.
Ford Transit
Build-
starting at 24.
Oh here, look. Build and customize your Mercedes Benz. We want the high roof. We want the high roof. We want the 6-wheel 4x4. Want the crazy fucking payload. $56,000.
Wait, can I add an extra $100,000 for crack cocaine storage?
Here, look. You can look at the fucking customizey majiggers.
Do they not have a crack cocaine storage customizability B?
I'm pretty sure
Custom-
that's just the extended wheel bed.
So that's the crack cocaine. Like you can store crack cocaine there.
I would definitely be able to start cracking this.
Oh hell yeah!
I
That's
would
my-
not. I would not want one of these fucking things to be 4 cylinders.
Nope. Neither would I.
Okay, I actually don't know like the difference between 4, 6, and 8. What does that mean with the engines?
Power.
Well,
Thank you.
So you know my
No.
shitty little car?
that's
That's
not
4
true anymore,
cylinders.
Jordan. I'm sorry to break it to you, but 4 cylinders can be more powerful than 6, and so on and so
Can?
forth. Basically,
Doesn't that depend on like the size of the engine though too?
well, even the size doesn't matter per se. Engines have become so efficient, and they know what they're doing now that they can make almost any version of an engine, and no matter how many cylinders, and have it have so much power or whatever. I mean, generally, if you're going to tune for power and that's all you want, then sure, more cylinders, more power. I mean, that's why like Lamborghini has V10 and not fucking 2-stroke single cylinder.
Bro, I'm a 2-stroke.
But yeah, so like 4-cylinder, you have 4 cylinders. V6, you have 3 on 2 sides, and they go up and down in a V shape, which is why it's called a V6, V8.
Uh-huh.
Inline 4, all the cylinders are one after each other in line. And yeah, I mean, for like certain applications like torque and stuff, yeah, I wouldn't want like an inline 4, but also
Well,
they
especially
are
for a
doing
big ass
pretty good.
man though, the acceleration would be kind of shit though.
Well, you would
think.
think. Yeah, it's so crazy now because the combustion engine is at its peak. Like it's never getting this good again because we're moving away from it. That you just have to drive the vehicle to know. It's hard to say, or to generalize it now. At least is what I'm saying.
So you could get the 4-cylinder gas with this payload for $36.35.
Honestly, like
This is, I think we're getting into shopping for tank territory, so we should probably.
Yes, we should
Yeah.
probably get out of this area.
Is that what that's just what we'll call it. Whenever we're starting to go off topic
Tank
too much, we'll
territory.
just go in. We're like, oh, we're
mean,
going into tank.
We were talking about music before this, I think, a little bit, and I don't know, like, if we got like Jordan, you were just like it's like a whatever, but like, do you go for like I said, like I get like I have a certain feel to my like music that makes me like feel like it makes me feel introspective. It makes me feel nostalgic to like look back on stuff and maybe like
Mhm.
fix my like mistakes, but not like fix them in like the past, but correct them for future times type thing.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
introspection to like just change the way I am and like.
Do you mean do I have certain songs if I have certain moods?
Yeah, like what is like? Do you have like an overall mood? Because I wouldn't say like my entire playlist is just consisting of that. I do have like other things, but like a lot of it is like really like thought provoking songs, just from like not just like maybe like the lyrics, but like the music, like the instrumentals, that kind of stuff.
So you're saying like maybe if I took like an average, what would the overall general
Yeah.
tone be?
Yeah,
Probably more upbeat.
upbeat,
Yeah, very.
keep yourself up. Type
Yeah,
thing.
very upbeat. I would say stuff that gets your blood pumping and makes you want to kill someone. You know,
So like hype
average
songs.
stuff.
So like you'll
Yeah.
snort a line of methamphetamine, and then you'll just grab the rusty, broken meth pipe, and you'll start like stabbing the dealer right. in
No,
front
listen. If I'm gonna do meth, I'm gonna do it.
of you.
Might as well.
Sorry, Ron. I had
We
to,
wanna
I had
end
to,
it
I had to
on-
poke.
Do we want to end it on the doing
Meth?
illegal and luxury? That could be a T-shirt.
Well, I mean,
Illegal
like,
and luxury.
In
Ron, I want to hear about
luxury.
your music though. What about your music, Ronnie boy?
What
is your like overall like music flavor?
I think that I like most things. There are some genres that are I don't listen to as much, but for the most part, I think I can find something in most that I like. What I listen to most is probably, at least now, a little more upbeat, but also it's summertime. That's just kind of how that goes. I do like
That's true because it can change in the season.
a lot of jazz. I don't listen to that as much anymore, but there's a couple songs that I can always listen to and be like, that's so good. I like indie folk. It just has like a campfire tone to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like country. I don't listen to that one as much. I I'll listen to country if I find a song that is like not what every other song is, if that makes any sense, or if it's one that I really like and I'm just going back to it or whatever. I don't tend to listen to any of the newer stuff just because I'm on Spotify, but also because of that I kind of avoid all the poppy, like, concurrent
You're not
stuff.
listening.
I'm
you're
not listening to it for the sake of knowing what's new. I
Old
want
Town
to find
Road.
what I like. Yeah, I don't know. I just listen to everything. I have multiple playlists for like multiple moods or what I'm doing. So I kind of jump around a lot. But what I do a lot, without focusing on like the genre or whatever, is there's a playlist on Spotify called You're on Repeat, and I'll just shuffle that if I am listening to listen. If I'm looking for something, I'll look for it. But if I'm listening to listen, it's just all the newer liked songs that I have that are mostly upbeat right now. So, I mean, life's going good for me, so why would I listen to sad music? If that makes any
Feel it.
sense. I got the new job. Everything's great. I mean,
You
it's
got
chaotic
the
as hell right
luxury
now.
the luxury crack pipe.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, like
But-
in my mind at least, like sad music doesn't always equal sad times, because like I know like you've seen me at work get really sad when Kids by MGMT is played on, because like I said, I get like introspective with my music, and sometimes that song just makes me really happy, and when I'm not like feeling good, it's not gonna make me feel like happy. It just kind of like I'm gonna fit the mood that I'm already feeling with it. So like I wouldn't say that like happy music equals happy and sad music equals sad mood type thing. But like I get what you're saying.
I mean,
you
maybe
know? I
not
get-
for you, but for me
Yeah.
at least, that's how I apply it.
No, yeah,
I
get it.
tend to use music as something passive, just to have it there, or to kind of go along with whatever I'm feeling. Like if I'm feeling really like, I don't know, thoughtful, I'm not gonna put on some really upbeat stuff because
Not
that
gonna
just
put on
doesn't
Gucci Gang.
make sense.
He's gonna put on Overthinker.
Oh, I don't know.
That's a
what
good
that
one.
is.
You do know what that is,
Do
bro. You should.
Who's it by?
I don't know. That's the problem with me with music, is like, obviously I like a lot of music, and then it's like, oh, well, who's the artist?
Yeah. I feel like I tend to remember the artist maybe a little more than half the time. Maybe a little more than that, just because when I find a song that I like by him, I try to see if there's another one that's similar that I like by him. So then I'm like focusing on the
rabbit hole.
artist rather than the song, because I feel like it's easier to find something that I know I'll like from them if I already like one of their songs.
What I've learned is that there's also a lot of like cross-referencing between like artists and genres. Like a lot of the same genre will stick together, or even like similar genres, or even like cross-genre thing. Like I've seen a lot of people like I'm gonna list off a few artists. I don't know if you know them, but there's people like Frank Ocean, Tyler the Creator, and a couple other people that like kind of work together a little bit, and then like they kind of have their own separate careers that are successful as well now. But they like work together. And then there's like a group called Brockhampton, and there's a few other artists. Oh, like Tyler the Creator and Frank Ocean have also worked with Brockhampton, as well as someone named Dominic Fike. who I like as well. He's worked with a Beatle. They're also working on an album, if I'm not mistaken, together. So there's like a lot of like cross-referencing genres, and like I like seeing those connections because like there's a lot of people that cover songs of artists that they're fans of, type stuff.
Kind of like
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what you're talking about as far as those creators. Like I'm familiar with Tyler the Creator, and that's about it. But rap,
It's like collabing.
rap
It's
is
like
like
collabing.
a big one for me with that genre. It's like you can
Tyler
find
the Creator
new
didn't start
rappers
out
that
as
you like.
rap though.
I'm not
he's like
talking. I'm not
indie edge
right. I'm
rap.
not talking about him.
Sorry, I thought you were really trying to say that.
No, I'm just saying I'm not sure. I don't get what you mean in that genre, but like as far as rap, I know what you mean. Because like I
Yeah.
found certain rap artists that I like because of either they collab or like their stuff
there's, like-
sounds similar.
So through Kendrick Lamar, I found Schoolboy Q. I
Hmm.
found a few. He has a few albums with a lot of like other people. I found I don't know if I found Jaden Smith through him, but like I knew of Jaden Smith already. But I think like him and him had a song together maybe.
Mm.
But Jaden Smith is thrown in there somewhere too as Jaden. I don't know. There's like a lot of like artists that I've found through other artists, and it goes like it's
Right.
deep. It's a really deep layer because like artists are inspired by other artists, and it just goes on. Which the musical theory is like a curve. I think it's like a no, it's not a bell curve. Fuck, I want to get into music theory a little bit more, but it's like it's gonna be a growth of music, just getting different, but like it's gonna be inspired by the past music, but also inspired by your own new thoughts as well. And I don't know. I'm really interested in that.
I just want to let you know, by the way, that we're at an hour and a half, and also I have to get ready to go for dinner. So
Wow, you have like
Yeah.
a wife or something, bro?
something
Bro.
like that.
What are you, not gay?
What are you? Not gonna kiss
Nope.
me on the lips?
Nope,
Bro,
I
Jordan,
will
come
not.
here.
I know it's Pride
That's
Month,
unfortunate.
but sorry, not sorry. All right.
you
Yeah,
for
I
watching
don't have
the
anything else
Bitcoin
to say.
This was a interesting one. We talked about cars for like 45 minutes.
It was not
And
that
then-
long.
Mm,
No,
I think we spent longer on privacy than we
Probably.
did on cars.
You
mm.
always say this at the end. We'll
Yes.
be like, we spent so long on this topic.
I'm also high, but like anyway. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.
Get a
It should be
luxury
up.
crack pipe.
Yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
Gang gang.
Goodbye.
Get